it's Phil Matthew coming to you from philandtomplus.com, and I've got
Tom.
Janine.
and Phil, as I said. And tonight we're going to just talk for a little while. Thanks for being with us, and we value your time, so we're going to be delivering some great information. And I guess I just wanted to talk a little bit about, I wrote a blog post this week. It was called The 7 Secrets to Being an Entrepreneur.
And I read it. And
You read
was fascinating.
Oh.
And when I say that, I mean I didn't read it. I didn't read it. But anyway, go on, Dad. Just trying to inject a bit of humour at the start of the podcast, Dad.
The way that this is...
I'm busy, okay? Anyway, go on.
Sorry.
Well, this has all sort of evolved from me travelling interstate to Sydney in December, a couple of months ago, or about a month ago. And I did a course up there because one of the things that we wanted to do, well, was to build a product or have what we call a unique branded system. Because I went to this seminar before I went to Sydney, and it was all about this idea of productizing your knowledge. And so for the new person listening, this is probably a little bit out there and not really that relevant to them, except to say that, you know, if you want to make a really significant income, you need to have vision. And part of that vision is that maybe one day, you might have your own brand. And maybe one day you might have your own products, your own unique branded system. And so we invested $25,000 to learn the intel, to get the intellectual rights to learn from a guy in the United Kingdom. And so that's a fair chunk of change, but it's a decent investment. I mean, what would they invest to become a doctor? Or they invest to become an accountant, or this sort of thing.
I'm not for the academic road.
You know what?
And
Some
so
people actually like being doctors and accountants.
Yes, but Mum, see, this is a bit of Marie Andros here. I'm expressing my opinion. My opinion is that I don't care for the academic road, the academic path, Mum. That's my opinion. I don't care for it. So if other people like it, good for them. I'm just expressing my distaste for that.
Did you say opinion or pinion?
I said opinion. Opinion with an A.
The good thing about being an entrepreneur is you don't need to spell.
That's true.
So that's a nice thing. Anyway, so this blog post that I wrote was really born out of that, and the 7 secrets to being an entrepreneur. And I went through what I call the Internet Millionaire's vehicle, and that means that you've got to have a vehicle. And we haven't cut a video on it, but the V stood for vision. The E stood for energy, meaning that you've got to look at your energy systems.
What do they call this? What is this called?
An acronym.
An acronym.
An acronym, vehicle.
Should kind of like segue there, Dad. It's called a segue. You kind of
Segue?
segue into it, so you kind of tell them that it's an acronym before you start saying the acronym.
Well, see, that's another benefit of being an entrepreneur. I don't have to sort of segue or skegway.
It's for the viewers. It's for the viewers hearing.
Okay, so for the viewers, we've got an acronym of the word vehicle.
So that's all I asked. Was that so hard?
VEHICLE, and
Oh my gosh,
Excuse
you went
me.
to tech and you could spell.
excuse me for speaking and while I was rudely interrupted. Cut me off at the knees and called me a tripod. Someone once
Do you
said.
actually want to share the microphone?
So the V
He's only
was
up to V.
the V
My
was
gosh.
for vision. The E was for energy, which is important. The H I love is for habits.
Harry.
And the I is for investing in yourself. And what's the next one?
C.
C was for basically it was centered around community. Tom was thinking about the word crap.
Things that just popped in my head. I'm just like for H, the word I always say, it popped in my head, but it's not appropriate for the, you know what I mean?
Oh, sure. I can think of C for
Okay.
crap. But anyway, that's for community. And remember, we're putting the acronym here for the Internet Millionaire
Is
Vehicle.
it for community or contribution? Because I was editing a video the other day, one of your videos, and I was doing the acronym. I was making the words come up on the screen. It was looking good. It was sounding good. And then we got to the C, and he says, C is for community. Okay, I'm going to put community. It's also for contribution. Oh, great. What up? Yeah, great.
Well, one of the things in
That's another thing about being an entrepreneur. You can change an acronym.
in building these things, they sort of chop and change a bit. So contribution was at the start once, then it was scratched, and then community was put there. But they basically sort of centre around the same thing. And there's little statements that run off all those
Maybe
things.
it could be C for centre. There you go.
Oh yeah, you could.
There you
The L was for leadership, I think it was.
It was.
And the last E, which I probably particularly enjoyed the most,
go. Is entrepreneur?
Evolution.
Evolution.
it was for
Evolve.
the word evolve and evolution.
Evolve.
And it was sort of come from the Anthony Robbins CANI, constant and never-ending improvement. And so, whether we like it or not, that's one of the prices that has to be paid to become an entrepreneur. That is that, nothing's really going to stay the same, and you need to focus on. So I've given some good points there for people that want to
Brag about it. Brag about it.
That's right, brag about it. That's a joke Tom just cut, but it's just going over my head like a 747. So there you go. So watch out for that product. That's something we're building, and it's really there for we're building a model, a $297 model, which will be sold on webinars. We're building a $997 model, which is what they call a one-day event, a $1,997 model, which is a two-day event, and a $3,997 model, which is, did I say a three-day event?
No.
Three-day event. And then there's a $7,997, that's the implementation of that particular model, because, if you leave people just with the how-to, they're going to need to have some
Questions.
Yeah, they're going to need people to guide them, basically, and that's one of the, important things. And that's the difference, fundamental difference between, there's even part of the product is, as I just look at it here, it's for the newbie. It's if you think about the word internet, there's a couple of N's, and one's for newbie, and it's called the Newbies. This is a system that's called the Newbies Naivety Needle. So I've built a little system on that to explain to them, the newbie, that they're really wasting their time with a lot of the stuff. So in the course, the one-day course or the three-day course, we'll go through that. And it really, I've just was mapping it out tonight actually. And so all these things sort of stem off these. What they taught me. One of the things you can have is an alliteration. They call it an alliteration. Didn't even know what an alliteration was before I went there, but it's just a series of letters.
Do you know what an alliteration is, Tom?
I can't even say it.
Yeah. Anyway, in my alliteration is P, 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 and P. There's 4 P's, and one of the P's stands for planning. And so planning's a pretty interesting thing in life. Having some sort of a plan, having a purpose. The concept of progress and the concept of prosperity. So this particular guy who has sold millions of dollars over the last several years, he was taught by Anthony Robbins to build these systems.
Are you talking about Andy Harrington?
Who?
Why are we not allowed to say that?
Arnold Horshack.
What is it with you and names? I don't understand. You never want us to say names. I don't understand that.
Well, sometimes it might be not a good thing to mention a name. Yeah, Andy Harrington, I don't mind mentioning his name. Some people I actually wouldn't endorse, but I would endorse him.
Yeah.
So how long have we been going for, Tom? I'm just
How
really...
long's Phil been going for, Tom?
Around 9.5 minutes.
Okay, well, I could go on and talk about the email I just sent down the tube, and I thought that was an interesting.
Let's just wrap it up here, Dad. Let's just close it off. But first, before we wrap it up, something happened today. I was on Twitter. I was in the car waiting for Mum, and I was on Twitter, just going through my Twitter feed, my personal account, right? And I don't post anything on Twitter. I just follow people.
Right.
Like I follow all the personal development people. One of them is Tony Robbins,
Yeah.
and he posts these links, these good links, like to articles and stuff like that. And today he posted saying, "Oh, check out my friend Eben Pagan's Wake Up Productive course." Now, I saw this years ago. I tried to get it, couldn't get it.
Right.
So I clicked on it, and it was available.
Yeah.
Right. So we got that,
Right.
which is really good for me.
Yeah.
You guys might want to look at it, I don't know, but I need that. And one thing that I thought was interesting was he upsold us, right? So we know that's going to happen. And it was, he said, okay, you're in the course now, you're into Wake Up Productive, but you know what? I'll give you free access for 30 days to my Platinum membership, right? And in that Platinum membership, you get access to all my products that I've ever built, free for 30 days. There's over
like
40
80.
of them.
Wow.
Over 40 of them.
Was it 40 or 80?
It was 40.
40. Why am I
And
thinking
then
80?
we scroll down. We didn't do it because we don't have the time to go through that.
Yeah.
But we scroll down and he says, oh, at the end of the 30 days, because I was wondering how much it would cost at the end of the 30
That's
days.
why we were listening.
He says, oh, I'll give you a 50% discount. $500 per month.
A month.
That's per month. And that's the 50% discount. So he charges $1,000 per month to be in that Platinum membership. So, I'm just.
But
thinking,
I mean, he'd be worth $1,000 a month.
it would be, yeah. But I'm just thinking, man, I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before. $1,000 per month, and you think Eben Pagan. I don't know what he's at, but I remember years ago. This is when I first saw the Wake Up Productive course, like maybe 2011. I heard things about him making. He's doing $20 million a year. So I wonder what it is now. But he's making like $1,000 per month. And we're thinking we've seen stuff that are like $97 per month or something like that.
Yeah, sure.
So
I'd be
thought that was
curious to see what's in the back of that. I mean, it seems that he's at there's another level of client that's paying that basically.
Yeah.
And so the point there is that, well, I think the point is that there's a lot of money or a lot of income in the internet.
But isn't the other interesting point that the people that are spending, that people are willing to spend that money, obviously they have that money, and you would presume that the people that are spending, this is all supposition of course, I could be totally wrong, but if someone is spending $1,000 a month for coaching, you would presume that that person is relatively successful, because you don't have $1,000 sitting in the drawer. And isn't it amazing that even if you are relatively successful, you still need coaching? It's not amazing. I mean, that just makes perfect sense that you always have a coach.
Some of the best.
You know.
I'm reading Tony Robbins' book, which is Money Master the Game. It's about investing.
Yeah.
And he's talking about all these investors who are worth billions and billions of dollars, and he's saying how he's been coaching them for the last 20 years. So the billionaires, they've got coaches.
Yeah.
So I'm just validating your point.
So I guess for the new person, we I know we go over this a bit, but we can't really change our starting point. So sorry about that. But I'm sure that you'll leave a link, maybe Janine, to the I Am Revolution book. And the reason, one of the things there is that particular product. Look, it's $10 for what here we are batting off numbers of $1,000 a month and. We invested $25,000. We started on this $10 ebook, and so you can buy that, and you won't be disappointed if you spent the next 90 days just looking at that and studying that. You're not going to go wrong. And so there's another product that you would be led to, which is a $50 product, but that's where you can get access to what I call the first areas of personal coaching, basically.
I want to give you a lesson right now, Dave. 101 in marketing, okay? You always sell the next step.
Right.
That's what you do. You're
Yeah.
selling the next step. You're selling the click. So you got the ebook, and now their mind's switched off. They're dead. They're dead to the $50 product ad until they get that ebook.
Yeah. Well, it's lucky that I've got Tom here to help me sort of,
Marketing 101, Dave.
go through this stuff. So I hope...
with the intention of that we sat down to have a conversation, and we had did anyone have any intention to sell anything? Because I didn't.
No, I don't. No, it's not so much that. I think people are left, people listen to us and it's important to leave them the ones that might be ready. If you're not ready, no problems. You're not ready. You might not be ready for another year. You might never be ready. Who knows? But we're talking about $10.
Yeah, but in saying that, if we go by that point, now we're just having a conversation about how we market. So this is a good little powwow. But in saying that, by going your point, that means we would suggest something every time we...
Yeah, probably I would. I probably would.
I don't know about that.
No, but the reason I say that is because people don't have to do it. They don't have to do it. But if I'm really trying to move someone on to help them to get their next bit of knowledge, I think it's, I don't know what the word is, non-compliant. I don't even know what the word is. It's important, I guess, that I give them something that they can go to because I believe in that particular product in terms of what it taught us at that time. So
yeah, but I'm just thinking, if I'm in, I'll put myself in their shoes. I'm a newbie now.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm just a newbie, and I'm thinking, how would I feel if I'm being taught by somebody and they're just giving me pure content, just giving me pure content, nothing else, just giving me pure value. And then every so often, and when I say every so often, you'd have to often, but not every time. They say, "Hey, get this. Go get this."
Well, that's assuming.
And then that's the point where I like using these words, which I learned off Mark Hoverson. You sell with a vengeance. So you're not doing it all the time, but when you do, you go hard.
Well, I don't care if they get it or they don't get it. I mean, so I'm not really selling with a vengeance here. But what I'm aware of is that I really don't know who's clicking on that link. It could be somebody who really needs that product. It's not like everybody's coming to this link the same time every week. It's just different people. It could be some random person who's they've read something, and so I'm providing them with that opportunity. They don't have to take it. That's up to them. I don't mind. All in their good time. But I think it's important that what if I don't want them leaving their head, scratching their head, going, well, how would I start this thing? I'll tell you how you start. You'd buy that $10 ebook, for God's sake. That's what you'd do. So that's my point. So we can agree to disagree on that, Mr. 101 Marketing, but
we're going to come to fisticuffs is what we're going to. Anyway, let's wrap it up there, Mum. Wrap it up. Go ahead.
Freaking chair in front of the door.
Louise time, everybody. Good night, everyone.
Podcast.
Good night, everyone. Have a great week.
See you, everybody. That's our daughter's just come in the house.
We put a chair there when we're still on and she's slamming the door on the podcast. Put a chair there so it doesn't keep slamming open. You need to smile a little bit more, Louise. Smile. Smile.
I won't do it.
You smile. I saw it. I swore it.
Your tea's ready.
Okay, that's it.
Smiled. Goodbye, everyone. Leave a comment below. I'll put the link to the book there and let us know what you think. Bye.
Peace.
Have a great week.
Peace.